Joining me now is American Culture Project Senior Fellow and School Choice Advocate Corey DeAngelis. Corey, let's start in the once great state of Colorado, which in the lead up to the 2024 election tried to remove Donald Trump from the ballot. Talk about threats to democracy. Well, the mad Colorado Democrats are at it again. Let's hear from Republican Jarvis Caldwell explain what's happening.
And what they want to do with this bill is say that if they confuse your children and you don't affirm that confusion, they will take your child from you. That bill passed the House of Representatives on party lines today. It's now going to the Senate. So you need to reach out to your senators. You need to reach out to the governor of Colorado and let them know that you're not okay with this.
So, Corey, let me get this straight. House Democrats have passed a bill that classifies misgendering your own child as child abuse.
Yeah, exactly right. It's straight out of 1984. It's Orwellian. The Colorado Democrats have just lost their minds. And now you have the inmates running the asylum. They pushed through this bill, and they also voted to invoke something called Rule 16, which silences all debate from dissent. So they just rammed this through. They know it's an unpopular issue for them. They didn't want viral clips to go around of them trying to defend this defenseless position. They basically think they own your kids. They even have one Democrat from Colorado in committee on this same bill, a representative, compared parent groups to the KKK and called them hate groups. This just shows you they don't respect parental rights. And I hope they lose some seats on this issue because they've gone so far left. It's basically a socialist takeover of parents, and parents aren't going to stand for it.
It is crazy. So you could have a little, I don't know, 9-year-old come to you and say, I want to be a boy. And if you don't respect that choice and you misgender that child and call a girl who's a girl, then that is classified as child abuse. I mean, I just don't know how this is going to work. It'll be interesting to see what Pam Bondi makes of this. Here is the Attorney General explaining that the state of Maine will face the consequences of allowing men in women's prison, and those consequences are going to be costly.
We pulled all non-essential funding from the Department of Corrections in Maine because they were allowing a man in a woman's prison, a giant 6'1", 245-pound guy who committed a double murder with a knife, stabbed his parents to death and the family dog, and he identified as a woman. So they were letting him be housed in a female prison. No longer. We will pull your funding. We will protect women in prison. We will protect women in sports. We will protect women throughout this country. No more of that.
It may seem crazy that could be happening in a civilised country, but Corey, you may be interested to know it's happening right here where I am in Victoria, in Australia. We've got a sexual predator with a male body but identifies as female in our biggest women's prison right here in Melbourne. This madness has to stop, and it's good to see Pam Bondi take a stand.
Yeah, I'm thankful for her leadership. I'm thankful for the leadership from President Trump. He ran on parental rights. He ran on there only being two genders, male and female. He ran on reality, not on insanity. And he's leading the way. And you think Maine is bad? You think places like California are bad when it comes to this socialist takeover? Colorado politicians are basically saying, hold my beer. We're going to try to one-up you. They passed that bill on a Sunday. They also rammed through taxpayer-funded abortions and some other bills as well that are just totally indefensible. And they got to lose seats over this. I mean, the boys playing in girls sports issue, that is an 80-20 issue. People want to understand real biology and to respect women's sports. But the Democrats here in the U.S. and the Senate, they all voted against protecting women's sports just a couple weeks ago. They've gone totally Looney Tunes.
They have, and they keep doubling down on this 80-20 issue. In fact, I reckon it's probably 90-10. I think there's the rest of those who pretend to be on side with the radical gender ideologues, I think, are just doing it to, I don't know, to seem like they're progressive or to be backing their side. When it really comes to the crunch, they don't believe that you can change genders. Now, Corey, I played some footage last week of a university lecturer overturning a table set up by college Republicans at the University of Wisconsin, I think it was. Tell me what happened there. The chair of the English department at that university has been placed on administrative leave, we understand. Has he made admissions or apologies for what happened there?
I haven't seen anything since he's been put on administrative leave. He basically is hiding under a rock at this point. But look at this. I mean, these are the people who are trying to educate young adults at school. I actually looked up at this guy. He is the chair of the English department. He has been put on administrative leave after throwing a temper tantrum because those students were the college Republicans tabling for the Republicans who were running for office that day. He did this on an election day. That's a threat to democracy if I ever saw one. He's interfering with elections. And he also is a big proponent of critical race theory. This is the obvious result of these kind of Marxist ideologies where they tell you that your opponents that disagree with you are evil. And so they resort to violence all too often. It's part of their ideology. And it's why we need to root this dangerous ideology out of schools at the K through 12 level and also the colleges. And Trump has ran on defunding DEI initiatives. They're already starting to do it. And he's also started to pull funding from different universities. And so that's a good first step. This University of Wisconsin needs to clean up their act too and not have professors like this running the show.
Well, let's have a look at another university and how the lefties behave there. This is UC Davis, University of California, Davis. Last week, they attacked and destroyed a Turning Point USA display and also attacked conservative students.
Come on, please, get in there. Get in there.
Corey, as you saw there in that footage, the police just stood around watching the display being destroyed and students being attacked. Is that a fairly common occurrence on university campuses?
I mean, those Antifa dorks must have been educated in government schools where they learn critical race theory ideas that everyone that they disagree with must be evil people that they have to engage in violence with. I mean, that's part of the story here. But yes, the security or police officers weren't doing a dang thing to protect the Turning Point USA students. Either those officers were told to stand down or they disagreed with the Turning Point USA students, or maybe they're just protected by a union that's protects the least common denominator. You see the same kind of issues with the teachers unions in the public school system. Maybe there's a similar problem with the government police officers that aren't facing accountability. I mean, these guys should be held accountable. They're caught on camera not doing their job. I mean, there's got to be some accountability. I respect police, especially when they're doing a good job. They keep our communities safe. But when you have evidence of something like this happen, where they're just not doing a bunch of anything, so you got to draw the line somewhere, and they need to do a better job.
You've said it well there, Corey DeAngelis. Thanks for your time tonight.